There's this quote that I love, and I put it in some of my keynotes, depending on the audience and the theme of the event that I'm speaking at. But there's a quote that Oprah says that's coming up for me. That's like, when you combine your purpose with your passion, no one can touch you.
Mm-mm.
And I sometimes have women stand up and say that, like, no one can touch me,
Yes.
when you remember who you are.
And
And
you
I think
remember who you are.
that's part of the passion and purpose, right? It could be a lot of things, but I think it's important to remember how powerful you are. And that's the work that
Yes.
you're doing. Catch and release. I love that phrase. So your part is the catch. Can you maybe just share, obviously we want to go to catch and release and do it with you live, but like one little tidbit that helps women remember who they are.
Yeah, yeah. So I take women through an exercise because, and let me preface it with this. There may be some women sitting here saying, okay, that's great if you've got a great background and all these accolades and you've done all these things in your life, but what about me? I haven't done anything. You know what? And that's a self-talk we give each other. We are, or give ourselves, not each other. We wouldn't dare. I wouldn't dare walk up to a woman and say, well, that was dumb, you dummy. But I say it to myself. I
Yes.
say it to myself. I might drop something. Oh, you dummy. And then I have to correct. I have to self-correct. I do self-correct
Yes.
now, but there were years when my self-talk was not complimentary, it was not loving, it was not nurturing. And so then what would I call on when I'm sitting at that conference room table and I'm feeling, psychologically beat down? There was nothing to draw on because I also was downgrading and downputting and calling myself in my head bad names and calling myself stupid and dumb and you're not smart and look what happened to you and you're not as good as. We do that to ourselves. And so there's no reserves to draw on. And so when we get in that seminar, I take women back and make them think and remember, what are some things that you did that you are extremely proud of, even as a child?
Yes.
Who loves you? Somebody loves you
Mhm.
tremendously. Is it your cousin? Is it the neighbor? Is it that little kid? And who do you love? And who do you give to? And what are your special qualities that maybe you wouldn't even tell anybody else, but that you really love about yourself? How do you make yourself laugh? What did you promise that little girl when you were young? And we go through a process of really starting to get back in touch with the things about ourselves that are just so precious and
Yeah.
loving and things we've accomplished and done. And we start to get rid of the negative self-talk, right? And we start to build ourselves up. It's hours worth of a journey.
I'm sure.
However, we get to the point where we feel free to design our own introduction based on who we really are, not the degrees we've gotten, not how many widgets I sold for the job, not for how many licenses I have to sell investments or how many no, we get back to, who are you? I am Karen A. I'm Karen. I love my name, Karen A. And you know what? A lot of women named Karen, they just go by Karen. But I am Karen A. I am the Karen A for anybody else who has an A. I am of the Bolden Bowen house. I come from two strong families, and I married into the Clark Nation. I'm a giver of life. I birthed some damn babies. I'm a lover of lands. You know what? Because I'm a philanthropist and I do what I can for causes that I care about, whether it's volunteerism, sending a few dollars, a prayer, connecting with the people, right? I'm a producer. I produce all kinds of shit, but I produce shows. I produce, good thoughts. I produce love. I am a thought leader.
Yes, you
I'm
are.
a thought leader. Yes. And I am a coach of confidence. I'm a coach of confidence. None of that is on my resume, but
Right.
that's who I am. And guess what? I can add to my introduction and my accolades. I can design my life and be who I want. I can take all that stuff in the past that nobody else knew about or cared about. But guess what? That's what made me, me.
Karen
Yeah,
A. Clark.
that's right. That's right. So who are you? Who are you really? What
Yeah.
did you forget about? Let's dive into that and let's get rid of any trauma that is standing in your way of recognizing who you truly are. Let's deal with that trauma. And then we go into that. And then we get back to the confidence. When you're walking out, you not only have tools and tips and an understanding of how to get to that place, but you got a supportive community and you know how to sustain and maintain that. Because see,
Yes.
I'm a very confident person too, but I get beat down by the end of the damn week. So
Yes.
I need to understand how do I get that? How do I build that up? We teach people that.